You've heard the stories, the legends, the myths, Kraken, Bigfoot, ancient aliens, ball lightning. You've probably laughed them off, right? Just crazy tales told around a campfire. But what if some of them were real? Today, we're diving into 20 myths that were once completely dismissed and now they're rebacked by science, history, or terrifying truth. And let me tell you, number 3 is going to mess you up. So, let's start with a classic. Giant squids, or the Kraken. For centuries, sailors whispered tales of colossal, tentacled monsters dragging ships to the depths. People thought they were just drunk sailors' fantasies. But in 2004, Japanese scientists captured the first ever images of a live giant squid in its deep-sea habitat. These things are real, and they are massive. Next up, Troy, the epic city from Homer's The Iliad, the site of the legendary Trojan War. For ages, historians believed Troy was pure fiction, a mythical backdrop for a great story. Then, in the 1870s, archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann excavated a site in Turkin found the ruins of a city that perfectly matched Homer-esque descriptions. Troy was real. How about this one? Gorillas? Believe it or not, these hairy wild men were considered mythical creatures by Westerners until the mid-19th century. Reports from African explorers were dismissed as exaggerations or mistaken identities. It wasn't until 1847 that they were scientifically described and confirmed to exist. Imagine a time when gorillas were as believable as dragons. Ball lightning. You've probably seen it in movies. A floating, glowing orb of electricity that zips around during a thunderstorm. For years, scientists said it was impossible, just an optical illusion. But in 2012, researchers in China accidentally recorded ball lightning with spectrometers, proving it's a genuine, though rare, natural phenomenon. Vikings. And those horned helmets. Total myth. Right. Well, the myth part is the helmets. The Vikings themselves. For a long time, their incredible seafaring feats, like reaching North America, were doubted. Then, in the 1960s, archaeologists unearthed a Viking settlement at L'Anse aux Meadows in Newfoundland, Canada, proving they beat Columbus by about 500 years. Let's talk about narwhals, the unicorns of the sea. Medieval Europeans often found their long, spiral tusks washed ashore and believed they came from unicorns, possessing magical healing properties. The actual animal, a whale with a massive tooth growing through its lip, seemed far too strange to be real. But, of course, they are cannibalism in the ancient world. It sounds like something from a horror movie, but for a long time, scholars argued it was mostly ritualistic and not for survival. However, archaeological evidence from sites like the one in Jamestown, Virginia, and among ancient Neanderthals shows clear proof of butchery on human bones, suggesting it was very real and sometimes very necessary. The Komodo dragon, a giant, venomous lizard roaming an island. It sounds like something straight out of King Kong. For years, tales of these monstrous reptiles were considered local folklore. It wasn't until 1910 that Western scientists confirmed their existence on the Indonesian island of Komodo. Yes, there be dragons. Okay, this one is wild. Death from a broken heart. It sounds poetic, but not medically possible, right? Bronchokotsubo cardiomyopathy, or broken heart syndrome, is a real medical condition where intense emotional stress can cause a sudden, temporary weakening of the heart muscle. It feels like a heart attack and can be fatal. Te okapi. Imagine describing an animal that looks like a cross between a zebra and a giraffe. To someone in the 19th century, they'd think you were crazy. For years, this African unicorn was a legend among explorers. Then, in 1901, Sir Harry Johnston obtained a skull and skin, proving this strange, beautiful creature was real. What about ancient brain surgery? Trepanation, the act of drilling a hole in the skull, sounds barbaric. Historians thought anyone subjected to it would have died instantly. but countless ancient skulls have been found with clear signs of healing and bone regrowth around the holes, showing that people not only survived the procedure but lived 4 years afterward. Remember those stories of Amazon warrior women, the whole society of fierce female fighters, often dismissed as a Greek fantasy, but archaeological digs in Eurasia have uncovered graves of Scythian warrior women from the same period, buried with weapons and showing battle injuries. The Amazons may have been based on a very real, very tough group of people. It's raining cats and dogs is just an expression. But raining animals, that's a myth. Or is it? There are numerous documented cases of small animals, like fish, frogs, and birds, falling from the sky. The scientific explanation. Tornadic waterspouts can pick up creatures from a body of water and drop them miles away. How about buried treasure and pirates? We all think of X marks the spot as pure fiction. While treasure maps are rare, pirates like Captain Kidd and Blackbeard absolutely amassed huge fortunes, and some of it, like the Widagali shipwreck treasure, has been found. The pirate booty was real. The placebo effect, the idea that a sugar pill could actually make you feel better, was once scoffed at by the medical community. Now, it's a fundamental concept in clinical trials. The power of belief is so strong that it can trigger real physiological changes in the body, proving your mind can be a powerful healing tool. Here's one that hits close to home. Germs. Before Louis Pasteur and others, the idea that invisible tiny creatures could make you sick was ludicrous. Sickness was blamed on bad air or imbalances in the body. The discovery of microbes revolutionized medicine and proved the myth of invisible killers was all too real. Pygmies. For a long time, ancient Greek and Roman accounts of a tribe of very short people in Africa were considered fictional. Herodotus wrote about them, but they were lumped in with other fantastical creatures. Today, we know several pygmy peoples exist in Central Africa. They weren't a myth. They were just unconfirmed, fossilized sea creatures on mountaintops. How could that be? Before the theory of plate tectonics, people had all sorts of wild explanations. Now we know that geological uplift can push land that was once at the bottom of the sea to the highest peaks of the Himalayas. The earth itself is stranger than any myth. Moving stones. In California's Death Valley, there are stones that seem to move across the desert floor on their own, leaving long tracks behind them. For decades, it was a complete mystery. Scientists recently solved it. A rare combination of ice, water, and wind pushes the rocks across the mud. It's not magic, but it is magical. And finally, cat-sucking breath. An old wives' tale says a cat can suck the breath out of a baby